Hello everyone. In this video, I shall try to talk about a novel written by B.S. Naipaul. And the title of the novel is A House for Mr. Biswas. This is a 1961 novel by B.S. Naipaul. And B.S. Naipaul's, it is one of these significant works and which has also acclaimed worldwide. And this novel is the story of Mohan Biswas. Mohan Biswas, he is the protagonist of this novel, and he is a Hindu Indo Trinidadian. Okay, Trinidadian, it is related to Africa or West Indies. So if you want to know more, then please go through the Google. Who continually strives for success and mostly fails, and who marries into the influential Tulsi family only to find himself dominated by it. And Mohan Biswas, finally sets the goal of owning his own house, and it relies on some biographical elements from the experience of the author's father, and views as a colonial world sharply with post-colonial perspective. So, A House for Mr. Biswas. It is a typical traditional mindset that we all want house for our own. Means we don't want to live in someone else's house or in someone else's property. We always long for our own home. So that thing is beautifully embodied through this novel by the writer B.S. Naipaul. And the writer has also tried to describe how post-colonial and colonial, these two notions have been contrasted and conflicted. Okay. Now, without any delay, let's try to know more about the novel. So this is the page, front page of the book. I hope you have, and please read the book first. Then only it will help you. It is just a, what do you call it? A tip. It is just a drop in the ocean. So it was first originally published in United Kingdom, and it was published in 1961, and genre was contemporary fiction. Now let's try to know about the synopsis. I have already told you that Mohan Biswas, he is the protagonist of this novel, and Mohan Biswas is also believed to be based on B.S. Naipaul's own father, C. Prasad Naipaul, and he was born in rural Trinidad and Tobago to Hindu Indian parents, and his father is a Brahmin. I hope you all know that during the time of British rule, many Indians were taken, or many Indians had also migrated to West Africa or to Africa and to West Indies. So at that time, they had not only migrated physically, means they had also carried all the cultural rituals, cultural things, customs, traditions, belief systems with them in the Caribbean island too. And one of them was Mohan Biswas, or even our writer's family also belongs to that category. And his birth was considered inauspicious as he is born in the wrong way and with an extra finger. Then a Pandit, he had prophesied that the newborn child would be a leecher and a spendthrift, means he will not be a very good human being. Okay, and possibly a liar as well, and that he would eat up his mother and father. Okay, then the Pandit had also advised that the boy be kept away from the trees and water, especially water. But after a few years later, Mohan led a neighbor's calf when he was tending to a stream. Then the boy, who had never seen water in its natural form, he became distracted and allowed the calf to wander off. Besides, Mohan then also hid in fear of punishment, because his father, believing his son to be in water, he drowned in an attempt to save him, thus in part fulfilling the Pandit's prophecy. And this has also led to the dissolution of the family. Then Mohan's sisters were sent to live with a wealthy aunt and uncle, Tara and Ajodha. Then Mohan and his mother and the two older brothers, they went to live with other relatives of the family. Besides, the boy was withdrawn prematurely from school and apprenticed to a Pandit, but was also cast out on bad terms. With the passage of time, Ajodha then put him in the care of his alcoholic and abusive brother called Bhandet, and he was an arrangement which also ended badly. Finally, the young Mr. Biswas, he had decided or made up his mind to make his own fortune. Then he encountered a friend from his school days who helped him get into the business of sign writing. Then while on the job, Mr. Biswas had also attempted to romance a client's daughter, but his advances were misinterpreted as a wedding proposal. Then he was also drawn into a marriage which he did not have the nerve to stop and became a member of the Tulsi household. Then all things were going on. Mr. Biswas, he became very unhappy with his wife Sama, and Sama was based on Durapati Naipaul and her overbearing family. Then the Tulsis, it is based on Kapil Dev family and the big decaying Hanuman house. It is also based on Anand Bhavan, also known as the Lion House, where they live represent the communal way of life which was traditional throughout Asia. Furthermore, Mr. Biswas, he was offered a place in this cosmos, a subordinate place to be sure, but a place that was guaranteed and from which advancement was possible. But Mr. Biswas, he wanted more than being just a ghar jamai. Okay? He just don't want to be a house son-in-law. And he was then by instinct a modern man, so he wanted to be the author of his own life. And that was an aspiration with which the Tulsis he could not deal, and their decaying world conspired to drag him down. Then, despite his poor education, Mr. Biswas became a journalist and had 4 children with Sama and attempted several times to build a house that he could call his own, a house which would symbolize his independence. Then Mr. Biswas' desperate struggle to acquire a house of his own could be linked to an individual's need to develop an authentic identity. He also felt that only by having his own house he could overcome his feeling of rootlessness and alienation. In that way, it ends. Okay, it is a very simple novel, and this has also touched many general or common things of our society and life, especially India, and where our Indian people live. If we talk about characters, then I have already told you, and Mohan Biswas is the protagonist. Sama is Mohan's wife, and it is also based on Draupadi Naipaul. Raghu is Mohan's father. Tara is Mohan's mother's sister. Bhandat is Tara's brother-in-law. Pandit Jairam is Mohan's cruel employer with whom he worked as an assistant. Mrs. Tulsi was Sama's mother. Anand, he was Mohan's son. It is based on actually B.S. Naipaul, or the author himself. And Anand has also excelled in school and showed signs of talent as a writer. And if you talk about theme, then a central theme of the novel is alienation. Right from his birth, Mr. Biswas was alienated due to the prophecy, and he grew up as a lonely child who lived in isolation. Following his marriage to Sama, the joint family of the Tulsis, it also expected him to merge his personal identity with theirs, which he found difficult and made him feel trapped. Then they later humiliated him, and he was forced to work at the estate at Greenvale, where he grew resentful of even his own children. But ultimately, this sense of alienation motivated him to search for a house, which also symbolized an effort to find and create his own identity. And throughout the novel, Mr. Biswas' gradual progress is also indicated through the many objects he and his wife acquired over the years. And Naipaul has listed out detailed inventories, much like the catalog of ships in the Iliad or the many descriptions of rooms by Charles Dickens. And there is also, if you are interested enough, then you can watch BBC broadcast. I don't know whether it is a TV movie or radio drama or novel, I don't know. But if you are interested, you can search it in Google, then you will get it. So that's it. I have taken these all things from Wikipedia, as you have seen. Thank you so much for watching the video.